What's up, guys? I have a special video for you guys today. Today is June 12th and I just finished watching the WWDC conference and I have a lot of thoughts on that. Number one, when I started seeing the banners that were being put up on the event, it stated iOS, the world's most advanced mobile operating system. And that's a pretty bold statement to say. So I was very excited. Again, I'm a geek. So Apple, Google, Windows, whatever, I love all that stuff. So I was very excited to see what Apple had to introduce. And quite frankly, after the video or the conference, when I finished watching it was over, I was kind of left with a couple of thoughts. Mainly, well, my Android phone already does basically all of the things that Apple introduced. So I'm going to show you guys iOS 6 and how things work in Android. So let's get started. So one of the new things about iOS 6 is the Facebook integration. Now, I did talk about this in my Android versus iOS series, so if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that. But, you know, Facebook integration has been on Android for the longest time. You know, for example, I have a picture here of my dog and I could just click on the Facebook icon and I can easily post this to Facebook. Again, this is something that has been on Android forever. Same thing with a website. I can go on a website and, you know, share that to Facebook. And of course, I can also, just like the iOS is doing it, I can go to Accounts and Sync here and easily add a new account. So I can say Facebook, which again will sync with all my contacts and show me their feeds. I did this in that video. I can add a Dropbox account, you know, Twitter, so everything will just work. So this is not something new that we haven't seen. As a matter of fact, it's kind of nice that iOS is finally doing that. One of the nice things about Android is not only can you sync with Facebook, like I'm doing right now, you can also, sync it across other messaging systems or, you know, Google Plus, other social networks. I have these are all the apps, how it integrates, including even Flipboard, PhotoArt, Instagram, I mean, Pogo Plug, Google Drive. So really the integration, not just with Facebook, but with other apps is where Android really shines. So this is not something new, but of course, you know, everybody was getting excited about that. So one of the new features that a lot of people were excited about was the ability to send a text message or set a reminder when somebody calls you and you don't want to take the call. So that has been something that has been with Android for a long time. Let me show you. So when you load up your phone, and of course I'm using ICS, you just go to Settings and it's called Quick Responses. So these are the quick responses. It's already integrated. It's no additional app. For example, can't talk now, what's up? Call you right back, I'll call you later. Can't talk right now, or can't talk now, call me later. So I mean, you can change these, you know, just click on them and then, you know, add your own. So it's very easy. Now, the way it works is when you get a phone call, all you have to do is swipe up, similar to how it is on iOS. So you have right to answer, left to decline, and then of course swipe up, and you can easily send the message. Now, one of the things that they had was a reminder so that, you know, if you can't take the call, it'll just send you a reminder and it'll set up like a geofence so that when you leave that area, it will send you a reminder. Now, there's an app called Tasker, which I'm sure you guys have heard of, and you can easily do something like that here. Obviously, I don't really care for that feature, but Tasker is a very intuitive app. If I were to talk about Tasker right now, it's basically like a supercharger for Android or turbocharger. Really, it's amazing what you can do for Tasker. And as a matter of fact, I did when I was doing my Android versus iOS series, I was planning on showing off Tasker, and this is really the nail in the coffin when it comes to just how amazing Android can be. For example, you know, not to get too much into details with Tasker, but you know, you can have it do things like, for example, when it's connected to my home Wi-Fi network, disable the lock screen. So these are things that I can set up. So when I'm at home, I don't want to be unlocking my phone because it's in a safe area. For example, when I plug in the headset, I want it to load Google Music. You know, when I'm at office near CDMA network. So when I'm in these networks, I want Wi-Fi to turn on. Same thing when I'm at home. When I'm near these cell towers, my Wi-Fi will turn on. Otherwise, it will automatically turn off to save battery. So you can, in theory, do the same thing here. As a matter of fact, even when somebody calls you, how about this? We'll take it even a step further. When you can set this up so that way if somebody calls you, it will automatically send them a text message saying, hey, I'm in a meeting, or whatever it is that you want to say, without you even having to do anything with your phone. You can leave it in your pocket, and you know, that's a nice thing. I'm not too much of a fan of that instant text message thing, even though we've had it for such a long time. I prefer using something like Tasker, where it will just automatically do it. And same thing, you can create like a little geofence. When I leave the area, send me a text message or reminder. So really the possibilities on Tasker, you could create anything. I have a buddy of mine that when he gets near his girlfriend's house, it sends her a text message saying, hey, I'm here. Without him having to even pick up the phone, it'll just send her a text message, I'm here, she'll come out, and you know, they'll leave. So once again, these are just little things that I have already been going have already been integrated with Android, so it's nothing new here. So another feature that seemed to get a lot of people excited based on people clapping and stuff was the Do Not Disturb feature. And once again, that is something that can be done with Tasker. For example, and I actually use that. I have it here so that from 12 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, I want to have everything silent, okay? And the same thing, you can set up conditions or variables that if so and so calls, you know, allow them, or, you know, if it rings. Again, you could do whatever you want. Basically, with Tasker, you have the freedom to program or make your phone however you want it to function. There's really no limitations. So, you know, I actually do use that, and I can see why people got excited about that, because that is something nice. So my phone automatically goes into silent from midnight till 7. I don't really care, and of course I could turn that off, or I could just say from Monday through Friday. Really, really nice. So, and again, I don't want to go too much into Tasker, but these are things that Android has already been using for a very long time. Another new feature that people were excited were about FaceTime on 3G. Now, obviously Android doesn't have FaceTime, but it does actually have something that I believe is a lot better, and people use it more, which is Google Talk. Now, Google Talk, and this has been something since Gingerbread, you can easily do chats. So for example, here I have a couple of friends that I talk to, and you know, if I pick Peter here, I can, you know, if he's online and it shows the camera icon, I can have a video chat with him. And the nice thing is that I don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi. This has been something that I've actually used even when I had 3G on a Gingerbread. So, and another plus about this is that with Google Plus, you can talk up to 7 people, I believe, or 8 people at the same time. So this is not something new. I've chatted with some of these fellows here quite some time, that where, you know, for example, Al was on a phone, Peter was on a computer, and, you know, a buddy of mine was on a tablet. So that's the beauty of using a service like Google, is that you can chat with lots of different people on different devices. So, you know, but that's good. I'm glad that FaceTime is actually something useful, because before it just seemed like, well, you know, everybody's on the go. If you're at home already, you have to use Wi-Fi, you might as well just use a computer, so, or Skype. So, you know, that's good for them, but it's not something that is revolutionary. So another new feature in iOS 6 is what's called Cloud Tabs. And this allows you to open up your tabs on all of your devices. So let me give you an example on how it works here on Android, which is basically the same thing. When I click on settings here, I can click on other devices. Now, because I don't have any other devices turned on right now, if I had my computer, I can see what tabs are open on my computer, and vice versa. On my computer, I could see what tabs were open on my phone. So this is not anything new and has been around for some time, but you know, Google Chrome allows you to do that across all of your devices. So nothing new here. So another new feature was Photo Stream, which is the ability to share your photos with your friends and family. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I use Dropbox a lot. And one of the nice things about Android is that it automatically uploads all of your pictures here. So camera uploads. As a matter of fact, just long story short, since I like to screw with my phone a lot, I accidentally deleted my everything on my SD card, or my SD card partition, and yeah. That was no fun, but I was actually very happy that every photo that I've taken was here in camera uploads. So anyhow, with PhotoStream, basically, like they said, is that you can share with all your friends and family, but you know, there's no different here. I can create different folders and categories. For example, if I want to share my movies here, I just click on the share button, and I can not only share it with my friends and family, I can also share it across all of these different applications too. So, which is very, very nice. And the fact that a lot of people use Dropbox, not everybody has PhotoStream. So this is truly a better way to share things. And of course, there's also Google Plus too, but I'm just giving you an example of Dropbox. These types of cloud-based applications have existed and work really, really well. And the fact that you can use them across any platform, PC, Linux, you know, Mac, is a great thing. With PhotoStream, you're kind of stuck in the Apple ecosystem. So, and if I'm not mistaken, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, leave a comment, I believe the photos that you take that are uploaded to iCloud only are there for 30 days. In other words, after 30 days, they disappear. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's the case, and that's not the case here. I believe when I was using the iPhone, or whenever I take pictures with the iPad, they delete after a certain amount of time, which is not good. So, again, you know, Dropbox is a really great way, and you can do basically everything. Not only share pictures, other applications, movies, and you know, just about anything. So another new feature in iOS 6 is what they call VIP in Mail. It basically allows you to get notifications from the people that are on your VIP list. Now, this is not something new on Android and has been around forever, which is what we call labels. You can create different labels. As you can see, I've created one called VIP for the sake of this demo. And when you click on the VIP, it shows all the different emails from that list. What's important here too is that you can also manage labels. And for example, on my VIP list, I can say, when I get, and by the way, I actually do use this, not on a VIP, but I do have a list. For example, I could say on my VIP list, I want to have a different ringtone, okay? And I can pick, like for example, I want, let's say this one here. It's kind of silent here. There we go. Or I can even have it vibrate, you know? So the nice thing about it is that you know, depending on the type of ringtone that you receive, what type of a list they're coming from. So, you know, this is not anything new, and like I said, travel receipts, and you know, the VIP one was for the sake of this demo. So this has been around on Android's Gmail service for a very long time. So one of the new things that Apple introduced was something called Flyover, which is a 3D world, something that Google Earth actually, or excuse me, Google introduced actually a couple weeks ago, which is going to be a 3D environment, which is very nice on both platforms. It looks both on Google and on Apple. So another thing too that they introduced was turn-by-turn directions. So I have to say though, Google really has it down when it comes to maps and of course you know, turn-by-turn directions. And I know Apple's trying to, you know, create their own system, even though they really just bought somebody out, even though they claim that they've built it from the ground up. But anyway, that's beside the point. The thing is that Google's turn-by-turn direction is phenomenal. And the fact that you also have Street View integrated, I don't know how many times I've used turn-by-turn directions, and as soon as I'm going to get to my location, it shows me the street view of what it looks like, and I can easily identify a building or some sort of structure depending on where I'm at, and say, hey, I'm at where I'm supposed to be. So that is really nice, and it's going to be very difficult to compete with Google's maps and you know their navigation system, and that's good for Apple for doing that. Once again, I love technology, and the more that Apple pushes Google and Google pushes Apple, the consumer wins in the end. But again, Maps is just the fact that they're integrated everywhere, and a lot of applications use it. It's going to be very difficult for Apple to really take that market share away from them. So there you have it, guys. I wasn't able to go through everything, and not everything is bad in iOS 6. There's a couple of great new things that have come around. For example, Siri. Siri, in my opinion, before was really not ready for prime time. With these new updates, it's actually pretty nice, and it was really nice to see some of those new features. For example, if you want to find out what the latest score is, or if you want to find, let's say, Sean Connery, what movies he starred in, you're able to just easily do that, and that's really cool. So Siri has come a long way, and I think it's now ready for prime time. There's a couple other things little things that were kind of cool, but nothing revolutionary. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Apple has lost its touch? Do you think that they're just playing catch up? One of the things that I kind of was paying attention to was when Scott was doing the presentation on iOS 6, he mentioned that the adoption, in other words, there's still 65% of people on gingerbread. But if you really think about that, 65% on gingerbread, even Froyo still has more features than iOS 6. That's kind of like Honda telling BMW, hey, your old cars 2 years ago didn't have navigation, yet Honda has no cars with navigation. Does that make sense? It truly blows my mind that they're saying things like that when in reality Android Froyo still has more features than iOS 6. So even if you're stuck in Froyo, you still have a phone that is capable and being able to do everything that iOS 6 can, for the most part. I would say at least over 90% of it, and even more. So what do you guys think? Leave comments below. Remember, I do new videos every Tuesday. Follow me on Twitter, Google+, and I'll see you in my next video.